I mean, fortunately, it's not a popular phrase. But if somebody would come up and
What,
say,
Dad's
I'm
hot mustard?
no, I'm having a
Grandma's
burn.
Crusties.
My dad would say I'm having a burning sensation, and that man pull the car, pull, you know.
There's still be not
Yeah,
to
you.
Not to know.
that I drink. So.
That
Hey,
sounds
Jack,
like
Jack came back with the results of the adderall experiment.
Hey, there he is.
Mark it. 3442.
Well,
Yeah.
12:47. This is the part where we give out plugs. Pick me out on Twitch.
Yeah. I just want to thank our special guest, James Inman. We had a nice long conversation with him.
Great.
I think we really, really solved some issues, and I feel good about our place and our
It's good
friendship.
to work those
and
things out between friends. Sometimes
Yeah,
we don't
absolutely.
talk like we should, like real talk.
Right.
Wait,
Real talk. It's the only way we should really do it, and I'm glad we were able to do it and overcome some things. So that's important.
You answered.
Hi,
the
Andy.
phone? Hey. No issues here. We just had a little technical glitch for a bit.
Your picture looks clearer than ever, Andy. I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah.
Why are you looking behind you?
It's a nice
Andy was
jacket.
Andy was actually 9 Skype updates behind. That's why I forced him. He was
Is that what you guys? That might be it.
on the 2008 version of Skype.
Oh yeah, it keeps wanting me to do other shit, like Yeah,
well,
let me.
Don't do anything until this call is over.
Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade just Windows 10 though, real quick. Oh, son of a bitch!
All of us are like,
No.
Daly actually leaps into the computer, and if I can grab a hold of him, no.
I had a major technical problem. I got these new these headphones. They're Bluetooth, and I can listen to.
I don't want that.
I'm not for this, but I can listen to porn. Like my wife. My wife says, "Could we talk about something?" And then I just bump up some music, and I'm listening to whatever.
That's not what you said first, though.
That's not what you said.
Well, I had some. I was listening to some porn, and I thought I had the Bluetooth speaker on the headphones. It wasn't porn. It was women making love to each other.
That's not porn, Andy.
No, that's not
that's the
porn,
old-fashioned way of looking at it. These are.
Was it the new Little Women? Is that what you're?
It's one I have on my Twitter, whatever. I'm saying the name of the band I like. Anyway, I thought I was listening to porn. I was listening to porn.
But
Women making
your
love.
Wife.
Yeah, as it turns out, she came down, and then she's like, and then I'm turning it up. I think I'm turning it up, but it's not. It's not coming through the speakers. I realize, and then I can't get it to stop either. It's like,
He smashes the headphones.
Yeah, I went outside.
Pulling on the cord to physically unplug the giant plug from the wall, like.
Well, sometimes the dog makes similar noises in its sleep, so I was counting on that.
Makes similar noises to two women making out in a porn.
Making love.
That's weird.
Well, there's a lot of licking.
Dude,
how do you get anything? How do you get anything done, Andy?
Well, these are short clips, so there's not a lot of conversation leading up to it.
I'm still picturing Andy has the headphones on, so it's actually muffled coming from his phone. So I'm picturing him jacking the volume all the way up, going, I can hardly hear this.
Technically, I was jacking something else.
But I think it's very interesting. Not to make light of your lovely wife's condition, but when the eyes go, other senses are heightened.
Ooh,
so as she's turning up the headphones, she's probably hearing it, right?
Well, her Jehovah Witness senses were tingling, and she sensed that somebody was having happiness and or joy, so she had to shuffle through the room with her bad vibes and kill it. I guess I'll put this I guess I'll put this Kleenex back in the box. It didn't get used.
I like that you. I like that you pretended that it was like a fart and blamed it on the dog.
No, I didn't blame it on the dog. I was just
that's not porn, honey.
I was just like
sounds the dog makes.
Sounds all the time. You know
I honestly didn't have any. There's no reason to make up a story, like You're going off and spending 3 hours at a cult? I'm listening to a 30-second clip, and it provides way more enlightenment than that church does.
There's no argument there.
Yeah, it turns out I'm really just kind of a lesbian cuckold. not the Becker type.
Great. Now we got to cut that out.
That's the kind of
I'm talking Matt Becker.
Yeah,
that's why we got to cut it out.
Kristen Becker, I'll kick your ass.
Yeah, maybe I am into that.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
It's the long con. He does the old protracted thing.
I don't think you were there, Shaylee, but me and Doug did a show. We went to the Sacramento Sirens, a women's professional team.
I wasn't there. It was football, right? You guys all took your shirts off?
Yeah, and these ladies were the champs. Like, they beat the shit out of the Reading ladies. And Doug invited them to the show, and they all showed up in their jerseys, and they had their, the helmet marks. When you
get pressed in.
Yeah, when you waffle somebody and you got that on your head, it was like I'd never been more smitten with a group of women than a bunch of. They're kind of like prison guard vibe, but it's like, man, whatever these, they could probably work me over way better than that hooker did. Yeah, I would assume that hooker hitting me with a belt would have been just like entry level with these ladies.
Yeah,
that would have been no, spread your ass cheeks and sexy. When a woman can beat the shit out of you, that's what that's the kind of woman I need.
Yeah, they'd hit you with a fastball, dude, right between the eyes from across the room.
Well, at least if a woman hits you, you'd know it was time to leave, right?
You could take a hint, Andy? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying, like, maybe a man wouldn't stay trapped in it. If I got hit a couple times, I'd be like, fucking bitch is gonna keep kicking my ass. I'm out of here.
Oh, jeez.
I guess she can feed the pets. I'm fucking hitting the road.
Fuck. Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers, guys. I went from coffee to straight up whiskey and Coke. So,
well, me and Ericsson are sober.
That was almost an hour of technical support.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to put this on a card, Andy, or were we going to bill you?
I don't know. I just downloaded a new version, so just update the account.
I think Shaylee was right on the money. It's probably a lot of what Andy looks up on the internet that causes his computer issue.
No, you just said. I know that's what's happening.
But I use my phone for that kind of stuff. My computer, I don't even. I just open it for Skype. That's it. It sits there, and I don't do the internet or anything. I was
surprised that you did have a computer when we started doing this, because I just assumed you didn't, because you never update things. You've got a website that has nothing on it.
I do.
These are the kind of things that you would do if you had a computer. You could easily, take. No, I know you got a computer.
I have a new website.
Oh, what is that?
My website. I have a website.
Why don't you have AndyAndrus.com?
The Japanese panty site.
My point exactly.
And
Andy stole it.
Also, I had James Inman who was running my website at like a fucking, a terrorist. If I didn't respond to his phone call, he would get on there and write some negative. So basically, that's why I shy on internet stuff. Inman hooked me up for free and terrorized me for years with my website.
Using your website to hold you hostage be his friend. He's using your website, and then
he did.
Makes,
yeah.
Puts
like,
shitty things on your website. If you want,
give me a call. Let's update your website. Give me a call. And it's like, I'm not going to call Inman. So then, eventually I'd lose the whatever, the .com to, more aggressive,
and then,
more.
And then he'd go on there and he'd put Andy Andrist is a pussy ass cunt and a shitty friend in your bio.
Right. No.
And then he wonders why you don't want him to be your webmaster anymore. It's like, dude, that's my website. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. So
I know that.
Well, we're doing this now. Let's get it out of the way. And the date has been changed for the Unbookable show at the Comedy Store. Chad, you said you were about to book an Airbnb, and I thought, well, that's poor planning because
I was waiting to confirm. Yeah.
There's tons of Uber and Lyft in LA, and there's tons of Airbnbs. It's not going to be a crazy weekend where it's, you know what I mean? I would definitely wait because
I wouldn't have done it without. I wouldn't have done it without checking back with you guys to make sure for certain. Yeah. But I was looking to see, I'm also because I also got to look at flying out there and stuff. So
I'm waiting to see.
Change.
Well, I'm waiting to see what I told Inman. I'll go out there for a stipend and lodging. So he goes, I'll look into. All right, like he was so. Well, I just told
what's he
Inman
gonna pay you?
Inman's paying me to come out.
What's he paying you though?
I think we should all be paid.
It out there. Yeah,
we should all be
paid. I should get paid.
Well,
are you getting travel expenses?
Well, I told him it'd be nice to get a stipend. So,
yeah, a stipend would be good.
Yeah. So no, I don't think we're getting paid.
Did you guys come to an agreement on a number?
Well, no, because Inman started crying about that time when I said.
So you don't have a stipend coming.
Or an agreement.
Or a place to stay.
It's a lot like the originals Unbookables. So I guess
I should say this that I ended up running sound for your special, and Chris Castles was supposed to pay me, and I've emailed him or I texted him, and I still haven't heard from him. So that GoFundMe money, did that all dry up? What happened? Because I'll take the sound back. There's no special without sound. You'll just be a mime. You'll just be a poor mime up there.
That actually might not be a terrible idea because think about this as a special. A video of Andy doing his act with no sound, and Andy doing dialogue and commentary on it as it happens, as he tries to remember what it is he was saying and trying to say it again. That actually might be pretty good.
That's funny.
Yeah, everybody judges you on your words in comedy. So, like, what if I did something and they didn't have that chance?
Another
you can call it
show.
Yeah.
No mistakes.
Yeah.
No mistakes.
Don't misinterpret me.
Get a hold of your Castles, buddy, and have him Venmo me, man, because he offered it.
Yeah. Well, you should be.
Last I checked, sound worked. So
I'm sure that this is just a very just a misunderstanding of some sort, and everything can be handled properly and quickly without getting the authorities or the lawyers.
We don't need to get the lawyers involved.
It's called a pod call out.
Anyway, I think it's the same lawyer.
Pod call out.
I think we all share the same lawyer for certain things.
Even your lawyer won't go up against the killer termites, Andy. Just saying.
Yeah. Saying. No, not that lawyer.
Oh, fuck.
I don't even know if we got, is this an episode?
I'm not sure.
This is more episode.
I had a lot of energy when we started, and then it just kind of went all over the place for a while. And then,
I'm pretty drunk right now, by the way.
Yeah,
that's sobriety.
Chad and I did a podcast while you were doing a customer service call, which was fun. But we kept drinking the whole time. I'm 4 Bushmills in. So, and I still have to work after this. So Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not worried about it.
Ship out some T-shirts. They can wait another day.
How many drinks you had? You getting a little edgy, sir.
I'll do a shot and I'll give you edgy, Andy. Jesus Christ.
So I was going to tell you guys about my doctor's appointment. I had to go to the get.
That was two episodes ago.
Yeah, I had to go get. Remember, I was supposed to go get Adderall. I didn't get Adderall.
Yeah, I can tell by your energy.
I took a nap earlier when I had to listen to. I was listening to the swap cast of your issues with Andy Tech call and neighbor Dave's phone call with Shaylee about a television set. Were hitting me, and I fell asleep like a baby.
Man, you were in the nerd vortex.
I took my headphones off at one point, but I knew if I fell asleep then and everybody came back, then I'd just be sitting here asleep for the rest of the podcast.
You were asleep when I came back on.
Put them back.
Yeah, you were. Your head was down and you were asleep like that. Yeah.
So that's because I didn't get any Adderall, but he did give me some other antipsychotic mood stabilizer type medication.
Oh man,
supposed to help me.
Those suck.
And then well, it's a test. It's because. Then he says, come back in like 6 weeks, and then I'll get Adderall to compensate for this one. This one puts me to sleep.
So he just wants to make sure you're not a narc.
He's making sure I'm committed to the
cool, right?
That's basically the whole gist of it, Ericsson. You hit it right on the fucking head.
Well, good luck.
So it's
I did a year and a half of those mood stabilizers, and all I got was stable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And all I got was this.
Yeah. He never told me there was a prize of Adderall if I stay stable for a year and a half. Fuck that.
Well, when we were in West Palm, Andy, you remember that show?
Yeah.
That one guy, I think he was in a wheelchair. He gave me like this dirty old prescription bottle that had more Adderall than I think I've seen in my life in one bottle. And I was like, he just said, hey, here. And I just put it in my pocket and stuff like that. I didn't realize how much Adderall was in there until later. And I gave you a bunch that you ended up flying home with that you didn't know it was in your car until I don't know if you've ever found it.
I lost a lot of stuff in that car. I'm glad that car is gone. That car was
a vortex.
Yeah, that car was. I had a girlfriend in college named Fat Cathy, and she drank beer at a faster rate than I did. And I did the math on it. I can't afford this shit. We broke up immediately. It's like, she fucking pounded a 6-pack, and I was like, that's it, man. We're done.
Andy,
he just threw that away.
Did you and your friends who hung out with Fat Cathy, did you have a nickname amongst these friends? What did they call you? I'm just curious. Like,
I don't know if they, they just steered clear.
I was just thought
if they didn't have a backstory, they weren't. It was kind of like a revolving door of roommates.
I just wondered if you and Fat Cathy had like a cute couple name or something, or if she was
many years
Andy and Fat Cathy.
Many years later, I was getting a robe gift wrap for a loved one. And I took it to the gift wrap at the place, and it was Fat Cathy. I was like, I go, here you go, and Fat Cathy got the robe. And then at Christmas, she the robe got open and there was a fucking grease smear on it.
Like chicken grease or something?
Well, there was some. It was obviously
on the job.
It was obviously fucked up on purpose, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't even know that chick liked me." I mean, she was, but it's like you don't know how you impact somebody until you run into them at gift wrapping years later, and they fuck shit up.
Service. Yeah. Hey Andy, was it open that everyone said they called her Fat Cathy to her face?
No, I think I kind of come up with that one when she.
Yeah, asked and answered. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I got it. I got all the information I need.
I mean, I think why we kind of hooked up was that we were both good at recovering after vomiting.
All right.
Yeah. It's like we kind of, it's like, oh yeah, I puked too, and then let's do another, and one thing leads to another. We had to break.
She was just making room for more cheese, though. You were wasted.
Right. I had to break up with her. It was getting close to the holidays, and that Pell Grant money was running low.
And she drank a 6-pack before you could drink one, and you were like, I can't afford this.
I mean, it was like it was like a drinking contest, and she just she meant it more, And that's the Fat Cathy. I mean, I would have called her husky Cathy, or medium.
Well, you'd have called her Husky if her name was Becky.
She was a medium when I met her, but she grew to a large.
Well,
and we only dated a couple months, so you could see why the drinking had to stop on my dime anyway. I couldn't. I couldn't
she's
feasibly
through half racks of Meisterbrow.
Well, I wasn't even 21, so I had
to
steal the beer. So it was like, this isn't a sustainable relationship.
Is there a chance that the gal at the gift wrapping place was indeed not Fat Cathy? You just thought it was, but she still fucked up your thing because you called her Fat Cathy?
No.
It clearly says on my nameplate, Janice.
We did a lot of blackout drinking in the day, but I remember what her face looked like.
Fat Cathy is too many characters, Brett. You would never be able to fit that on a name tag.
You'd have to make it a run-on.
A double space.
It was with a C, Fat Cathy.
Of course.
I wonder whatever happened to that little...
She's still at the Bon March, dude.
Well, she might live. It happened in this. I met her in Ashland, but then she ruined the robe here in Eugene, so she could still be around.
She's following you.
Yeah,
it was just a different fat lady.
I do remember my roommates coming in while I was having sex with her. There's no making love to that size of a fucking pig, and
wait a minute. First of all, let me just say that I can't believe I've known you this long, and I never knew you dated someone called Fat Cathy. But I also now I'm thinking about your first 10 minutes of your act used to be all about making love to fat girls, and I realize you may owe more to Fat Cathy than you realize.
Yeah.
Well, she owes me a robe, and then we can talk about once we get that robe thing situated.
Who was the robe for?
My wife.
Oh.
I said loved one in the past tense. Like grandma. She's gone.
She passed.
Grandma's not coming back, but you can still enjoy her robe.
And her hard candy. That's still around.
Hey guys, we took so long on that call. All my bar supplies are depleted. I'm gonna have to run and get some ice and some more mixer. So I can hear you though. Keep going.
As long as I shut it down when the cult gets here, but they've been spending an extra long time grooming her lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must be time to send her out on a secret mission.
The quickening.
Well, now I'm working towards that. Alaska. Wink, wink.
Gotcha. Yeah. As long as you better not talk to Furio a lot, because that dude really talks about Alaska as much as you. He's ready to go as well. We gotta.
Yeah, it's like they say you're like one paycheck away from homeless or whatever. It's like I'm one conversation away from hitting the road. I could just get Mr. Squishles to travel better.
Who's Mr. Squishles?
He's the cat I kicked out of the chair.
Oh.
That's where I was having all the technical problems, and then Mr. Squishles was here, and I was like, man, as soon as I took the computer in the house, and the internet got stronger. Brett was talking about cables, and I was like, wait, maybe if I go in there.
The cables were a metaphor.
Yeah, I was all wound up and tied up and stuck with the cat, and then I can't do that. I just need to hit the road.
Wow. I heard Ericsson's entire side of that conversation. I did not get that.
I don't call it leaving. I call it Airbnb in my space.
That's nice of you.
Yeah.
You're just maximizing your profit potential. That's all you're doing.
Yeah.
Andy, where are you sleeping when there's someone at your Airbnb?
There's a second bedroom.
Oh, okay.
And then I bounce downstairs.
It floats around a little bit.
Yeah. I do a little
running nighttime security,
I do some strategic sleepwalking.
Oh, how did I end up in here?
Yeah. No. Oh, but so we had a Airbnb guest, and I went to bed, and they got in late or whatever. But then they're not supposed to be out in this other space, and I went to the bathroom, and there was a little lady trapped in the hallway there. Like that, it's like
a stranger.
Yeah, totally and it was, good thing I'm not like that. I thought of that Olympic hero, Oscar Petraeus. It's like, what would he do in this situation? This is exactly what he ran into. Only he didn't have legs. At least I could see I was taller.
He didn't exactly run into it.
Yeah, I didn't have to mow her down with gunfire. I just helped her get into the room or whatever. But it was like, I guess it would have been unnerving if it was, a big dude or something.
Fat Kathy.
If it was Fat Kathy, I would be like, bitch, what took you so long? I've been waiting for you. And now I drink
greasy mitts.
Yeah. Oh, if she didn't slow down, there's no way she'd make it up all the stairs. At the rate she was drinking them at community college, there's no future in it.
Hey, speaking of Alaska, Olivia Grace, she is doing the Alaska Before You Die Festival this year.
Oh, nice.
Right on.
She's gonna have fun. We were talking the other day. We were in the funhouse drinking, and I go, "Hey, did you get that gig?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "When are you guys going up?" I go, "Oh, we're not going."
2026.
And she's like, "What? Wait a minute." I go, "Yeah, you'll have fun. Don't worry about it. You'll have a good time."
You didn't need us. We were just gonna drag you down anyway.
Mr. Boobs still thought we were coming. I sent him no, we're not coming. Yeah. And he was still trying to get airfares for us. Like, no.
You told me to contact him, and I contacted him a couple times, and he never responded once. So
same here.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm your link of communication,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's what happens.
I lost a lot of contacts in the great reboot.
It's important to just move on at some point, right?
So, hey, right. Ericsson,
you lost. Yeah.
You said you texted me earlier about T-shirts and stuff. You said something about someone wanting to submit artwork.
No, I didn't say that. No, someone just did.
Oh, someone just did it.
Yeah. So that just gave me the idea of that. We don't need to talk about that here.
All right.
We're podcasting. I don't want to talk about that. We'll figure that out.
All right.
Plus, we're going to... Dude, you remember how we're cutting Andy and Chad out of the T-shirt money? It's not fucking talking about it right here.
Shit. My bad.
We only
Alaska. Wink,
when
wink.
Andy was
Alaska.
Technically fucked up.
We only wear one hat. You guys, cocksuckers.
Yeah. I've got I got a tweet recently from somebody who said that he was wearing my shirt, shirt with the diplomat shirt. Uh-huh. And he says the guy asked him who it was, and he said he didn't know how to answer. I said, I think that should be the selling point. Yeah, just make people feel awkward for fucking talking to you. Who's that? I don't fucking nobody. What? You don't wear shirts with fucking nobody on them? What are you, stupid? Fuck you.
Those
nobody can never let you down.
Still available. I'm sorry, what, Brett?
I said nobody can never let you down.
This will bring, when people, they say that it keeps getting better each episode, this will be the one where they're like,
jump the shark.
You know, not jump the shark, but the shark was, the shark did smell some blood in the water.
They're circling.
Yeah, but
shit,
I didn't mean to bring it down.
Well,
like a James Inman comment on your Facebook post brought that to a halt.
It's pretty spot on.
23rd, Comedy Store.
Yeah, so me and Shaylee were talking, like, Inman is getting his wish, like he little fucking bitch whined to do the show. And how many people like line up and want to be at the Comedy Store just to get it on his show, and they don't know the secret is just to fucking whine behind the scenes and be a bitch. And eventually somebody will put you on a show just to
or
shut
to complain
you
to people that I mean, this is so through the back door. This whole
I haven't heard
like browbeating to get Ericsson. I mean, he just basically got everyone else, and Ericsson was the last because Ericsson really has integrity, and he lives there. It was a shame because he played it masterfully, but Andy and I were talking about like, it's too bad that Inman isn't that smart. It just fell into his lap this way. He's not
like Trump.
Yeah.
He
is. No
winning.
Plan. He just keeps complaining.
Yes, that's Trump. He has no plan, and he just keeps complaining. And he somehow gets what he wants.
But unlike Trump, Trump has a steady supply of drugs. So Trump has that next level. Inman gets caught with hurdles, like I need an Oxy or I need an Adderall, and then he can't get past that hurdle, so he just goes around in a circle. But yeah, I haven't heard a word from him since the show's been ago.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
I
don't think.
Go ahead.
I would say I don't think there will be tickets available for a while yet. It'll probably be about a month out. They'll start making tickets available for the show.
The date isn't solid.
Look, the date's no, the date is solid. The date's never solid. If a much better show wants that time on Monday night at 8:00,
a Windy City Heat reunion,
then that just might do it. But last night Dave Chappelle came in at midnight and did a show. So if Dave Chappelle wants to come in on Monday night, he's going to get the spot.
I would love it.
He wouldn't step off that. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know the Unbookables were here.
From the movie? Fuck, I'm just glad to be in your presence.
Ericsson, I got a question. The Belly Room, which is upstairs at the Comedy Store, what is the capacity for that room for a show like the Unbookables?
I don't know. For a show like the Unbookables?
Yeah.
If we get 14, I will consider that at capacity.
Oh, how many people?
I think it's like 80, 75. Yeah. It's small.
Yeah. So if you want to go, my point is, if you want to go, if you really want to go to that show, it will go quick.
What you should do is hit up David Smalley on Twitter and make a connection with him, and he'll tell you when the tickets are going to go on sale. But it'll probably be about a month in advance.
Or get a hold of Inman. Get a hold of Inman and ask him.
Contact Inman directly. Contact Inman directly. That's what you should do.
Give him your phone
Twitter
number.
It's @_James_Inman. And follow him so that he gets his followers back, and contact him and ask him about it and talk to him about it all day.
Well, he might be doing some work on his furnace.
He's a very competent man.
Yeah.
We're all the better to have known him.
Oh, I can't wait to see him. Will you be out there, Greg? You won't. You're still being
like
Boise.
The St. Louis, the Trans World Halloween show, it actually starts on the 19th to the 22nd, and 23rd is when we break it down. And I'll be out there probably from the 15th or 16th on. So yeah.
So we'll have Christine co-host or something.
Yeah. We'll try to find somebody to be in that fourth chair if we can think of anyone who wants to be on the show who hasn't.
Yeah.
Well, Levine was good on it in Austin. So.
She was good. She was
like
good.
an audition.
I just don't want to make any. I don't want to make any promises. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential. Someone to meet the high level of quality that we've come to expect here on Issues with Andy. It's not just throw anybody in there. There's a vetting process involved.
We're going to be in a place
get to know you
process. Stars.
That's right.
You never know what kind of stars might want to come in.
Great.
We might find our next.
Levine is the leader in the clubhouse right now. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying there, could be.
We might find the next host getting off a bus. Not that guy.
I like
a new one.
I like Christine on there as well, just because she knows Andy better, as well or as better than anybody, and can help him remember stories that even he doesn't know. So I second that.
Oh, that is true.
Right away.
See? That's a good. That's a good quality in a
Issues with Andy guest. Yeah.
There's always the Hennigan puppet can take the chair.
Well,
that's pretty good too.
But I said it in that message. I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're ready to break out with that kind of success. Like LA sees us and a puppet, and they're like, it's kind of comedy, and there's a puppet. Let's buy 100 episodes.
Yeah.
I think the move would be to just set the puppet in the chair and not have it say anything the whole time.
That's what I thought exactly.
Until we're all done. Goodbye. Thank you.
until he's had enough of Andy, and then he all of a sudden starts ripping into Andy again. He can only take so much.
Yeah,
he can only take so much.
I don't blame
That is Hennigan.
Yeah. I don't blame the little puppet.
I love that Hennigan was flattered by the puppet.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe someone went to the effort to make a puppet.
Well, imagine how the real Peanut feels. Not the one
that took me a second to get, but dude, that's fucking.
Don't worry. By the time this airs, nobody will get that anyway. That was a right now fucking joke, and that's it.
Imagine the real Peanut sitting in in his cabin in Tennessee with his boots up on the ottoman, just fucking sitting around, flips on the TV and sees Jeff Dunham, like, God damn it, this guy's exploiting me. I could have been there, guys. I could have done that. If only I didn't move my lips. If only my lips didn't move so much. His little legs kicking on the chair. So we could get we could have Mr. Hennigan as our fourth host. Who knows? Anyway, a myriad of possibilities. Brendan Walsh will be there also.
There you go. Right. Yeah. He's got plenty of stories with Andy, I would imagine.
No, yeah. Brendan? No, just that. I mean, we didn't really hang out
much. Really?
That one in St. Louis, was that?
All right.
The slap fight with Wilkinson, the
joke off.
The joke off. The the slap.
Gun?
I slapped. Yeah. The gun situation. Yeah.
Well, okay, so
it sounds like there's a couple of
three fucking fantastic stories.
And the fake suicides and the drugs.
There was one night on the fucking tour with you. There was one night, Andy. So other than those three, in the lifetime of knowing Brendan Walsh, you don't think he stored something away?
And the drugs. Yeah.
I like that you said and the drugs
Andy
twice.
Helps me fight my battle against him.
It was a desperate cry for help from Norm Wilkerson, and I'm glad me and Brendan were there to help soften the blow. Or do most of it anyway.
There was Norm Wilkerson was in Doug's room, and Andy had a real early flight. It was out of Chicago. It was after the Unbootable show at the what was that theater called? It was with the Captain. That was fucking gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lakeshore Theater.
Lakeshore Theater with Captain, what's his name?
Yeah.
So after the show, we're in Doug's room. It's kind of like it's a bigger room. There's two queen beds. Andy and I are in one bed because Andy has to leave early in the morning, like way early, and none of us are having anything to do with it. And this is after all the shenanigans. And Brendan Walsh is sitting there, and Norm Wilkinson starts telling Brendan Walsh that he's better at street jokes or just telling jokes on the fly. And Brendan goes, "I'll tell you what, let's have a joke off." So then Doug's in bed, Andy and I are in bed. We're sitting there, and they trade joke for joke, and then we decide who won, and they're gonna do like 4 or 5. And after each of them tell a joke, we say who won, and Brendan Walsh set it up to like, if I win, then I get to punch you in the ass. Wow. Like, the ass. And he did that Queens of the Stone Age song. He did that adderall. I kept
punching him in the ass.
While punching him. So he would sing the chorus to a Queens of the Stone Age song while punching Wilkinson in the ass. And by the way, at the end of that, Wilkinson never got to punch Brendan Walsh. So
I remember that being like the gayest thing I've ever seen. And I've seen, just it wasn't the punching in the ass. It was the way Wilkinson responded to it. Like he was being like punched in the ass and giggling. And it was like, wow, I mean, I would think that you would like be a little upset or getting hit in the punch in the asshole like that.
He agreed to it. And he thought he was going to win. He thought he'd be punching.
Wait, in the asshole?
Well,
no, just like on the cheek.
Okay,
kind of
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was picturing. That's
while Brendan Walsh is singing the song.
Wasn't he Wilkinson in his underpants too?
No, that was probably just your.
Maybe I was.
That was just the Thursday before.
Yeah. That was in Chicago, and I had like 3 flights I missed that day. I had an early flight, and it just felt like they called my name, and I felt like, no, this is a bad omen.
Wait, you missed them all at the airport?
I got to the airport, and it just seemed like, when they call you specifically. Last call, Mr. Andy Anders, like, oh, this plane's going down. I mean, I was pretty addled on drugs there. They flew that Lakeshore. There was a lot of coke in that place, and it was not shy about introducing itself. I didn't even know the heavy-handed handshake existed till the Lakeshore, and then I'd like, man, I can't take any more.
I've got a flight to miss.
Yeah. And then it happened like 3 flights, and then they just gave me a voucher for a hotel.
Just to get you out of the terminal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, why else would they? Yeah,
you were at the airport the whole time, and you just never went on any of the planes.
I just kept. They kept doing that thing, and they called my name, and I was like,
because you kept not showing up to get on, so they have to say the names of the people.
If you check a bag, they cannot leave. They can't push back from the jetway.
Yeah,
you're not on that plane.
So you can't
check a bag and then skedaddle.
Not only
then they have to take all the bags off, find your bag, and then reload the plane.
Right. That's why I got the hotel voucher. Not only was that a bad omen flight day for me, but everybody who sat on those planes, and they were like calling one more passenger who wouldn't show up. Oh shit, this plane's going down for sure. I know, that's why we didn't get on it. The joke was on me for doing all that coke that we should have just let Wilkinson have.
That was funny because you guys were able to talk your way into Wilkinsons room. Like you went to the front desk. I think one of you had like a southern accent.
You go, hey, I'm Norm Wilkinson, and I left my key up in my room, and that was good enough, Like, oh, sure, here you go. We put drugs down in his room, like he came into his room and found drugs that weren't there before.
Which was a really good idea because no one, like, if you go and you go, oh wow, that's really coke, that would freak you out. If that was drywall, you'd go, oh, someone's fucking with me. It was like, who left me cocaine in my room? Like this big fat line.
If it was drywall, you'd go, how did somebody from Peoria get here?
Ericsson's not on this tour.
That's Peoria drywall. If I ever bang drywall, I know my wife.
It's $40 a sheet.
Yeah, $40 a half sheet for that shit. Got to be union too. That's the fuck part of it. You got to buy union.
Cat town.
Now I want some drywall.
Oh man. Yeah. This sobriety sucks.
What are you talking about?
I haven't had a drink since Vegas.
Why?
I got some big drinking days coming up in February.
Oh, that's true.
I thought it was because you saw me.
I got to take a. Well, it was part of the decision. Seemed like my ghost of Christmas future.
I scared everybody sober. See, that's why I do it. It's like I go around to schools and I puke in cups and go, this is what could happen to you kids.
That cured me of drinking for a while.
You want your janitor to have? Yeah, I know. It was like
me from hanging out with Andy for a while.
Well, it didn't keep me from drinking because I got rid of all them shots, and the next morning I woke up and I'm like, I could probably do a Bloody Mary. See,
Ericsson,
that's what I miss the most. But I'll be back.
What do you got coming up?
We're going to Mexico.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, it wasn't that as much as it really was. Just he's fucking drinking every night for a long time in a row. You know, at the comedy store every night. There's nothing to do but drink. So
I live at Doug Stanhope's bar. So yeah, you gotta pick and choose your battles, man.
Yeah, you just need to have an off season, you know.
Oof. And I'm flying to Key West this weekend to go record a podcast with him, and he called me up last night. He goes, "Hey, when you get here on Sunday in Key West, it's onesie day. So everyone in Key West is going to be walking around in onesies, like the animal characters and all that. Like, yeah,
nice."
And I'm like, I really just want to record a podcast. He's like,
do it in a onesie.
Get the onesies. Bring them.
No.
I didn't even want to pack a bag. I just wanted to bring the gear and wear what I was wearing.
Just wear just wear 3 onesies.
Yeah, you can do it.
I'm not boo-hooing. I'm just saying. I got probably today was a good day to drink.
I think you should get the most extravagant onesie you can find.
No, we have them. Bingo. For everyone here, and I'm just grabbing those.
I got you.
Yeah. Oof.
I don't need to drink to have.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I just got a text, and Tom was supposed to come over and help me do some work, and he just said he's not coming over. So, cheers, guys. This worked out pretty good. I don't have to get today.
Oh, shit.
I can't drink more kombuchas.
Yeah. You're too biotic right now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm not even getting sober. I'm just not drinking.
Yeah, that's it. Me too.
While Stanhope's working on the book and stuff like that, I get to be a lot less than normal, you know, going and hanging out with you guys a lot, Shaylee, and drinking. So that gives me a break on that. But then still I have yesterday I had the Twitch stream, and in order to just hang out and be social for this or for that, you know, whatever, I'm going to drink or else I'm not really going to want to do it.
Have you done the analytics on our AA membership?
So I find myself now, I'm like, fuck, now I used to just drink when I would go hang out with you guys, and now I drink almost every, you know, tomorrow's another Twitch stream, so I'll get drunk again for that. So.
Yeah, who knew you could be a social drunk and not even leave your house?
I'm gonna have to take a look. I went over 300 subscribers on Twitch, but I think I might have to do an ROI on my alcohol that I'm buying and check it out here and see what my ROI is on this, because I might be going in the wrong direction. I thought I was getting paid for drinking, but turns out I'm just paying to become an alcoholic.
The bill's coming to you.
Yeah. That's what we found out with Grandma. That's not cough syrup. That's not just cough syrup. She's mixing that with some other shit.
Yeah, how could you know? She hasn't coughed in 10 years. It seems to be working.
Yeah, well, she shit her pants a lot, so that was a tip-off.
But I mean, you can't blame that on liquor, right?
No, I mean,
it's
yeah.
not a direct correlation.
I think it's probably a side effect of cough syrup. You know?
Don't read the side effects.
Yeah.
Don't read the side effects. You'll be fine.
There's one thing we've learned here.
Might blast your pants.
When I was growing up, my grandparents on my mother's side, my grandmother was awesome. She'd bake and do all the grandmother things, but I was scared to death of my grandfather. And only years later, years after he died, I found out he was a raging alcoholic, that he would get up in the morning early, and there was a place up in a cupboard that he always kept whiskey. I lived in the house. He came to visit us. He was so drunk that he would get drunk in the morning, and my brothers and sisters caught him. Like, and he'd scare everyone. And I asked my mom later about that, and she goes, yeah, it was really weird because he would get drunk, and then he would take the car and drive down and watch the trains and say he was going to kill himself. And I go, repeatedly? This happened again and again. Every fucking time he would get up in the morning and he would drive somewhere, and they would have to go, where are you? And they would hear that. I go, oh, it's over on Baston Cherry Road over by the fucking. I go, you let this go on and on and on. But he never shit his pants. Never shit his pants.
I was just gonna say, Grandpa would be so proud to know his grandson's living in a bar now, drunk in the daytime.
Yeah.
You don't have to be suicidal. You live in the fucking bar.
Right.
Grandpa was just impressed because he couldn't get enough booze.
Hey, your kids can have a better life than you. It's important that you pay the price and raise them right, and eventually your grandson will live in a bar, and all of your dreams will have come true. It's nice.
My grandpa killed himself with exhaust, like in 1950. He sucked the exhaust. It was like, it was like he was like, you know, I mean, I don't know how many people were doing that. Like maybe Grandpa thought of it, but he
well, it happened after 1920.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he was a copycat.
The invention of the garage door.
He played in a novelty orchestra, so you know he was a cover band. So he covered suicide. But yeah, he was the first of my family that really took it. How old
was he?
50. Nice even numbers. Man. Yeah.
Well, life expectancy back then was probably 55, 60.
I know. Yeah. Grandpa, he didn't mess around. He was like, fuck it. This is starting to suck. And
so does the family have a story of how he did that?
Well, my dad found him, and Grandma, that's when he took over, and instead of going and living his dream, he took care of his drunk mother, which I got the gig many years later. It was already mostly done. I just was the final enabler.
Oh, you batted cleanup.
Yeah. Well,
working hospice.
I knew to let her put
in more ways than one.
You know, I didn't go get the laundry off her floor. I was like, you know, Grandma had some sense of decency in the morning about her crusties, as we called them. Grandma's crusty pants. My dad would make a joke. Oh, Grandma's crusties. Yeah, it's real funny.
Sounds like a terrible marketing plan for like a bakery making like morning coffee cake.
It kind of
stop by and get a pack of Grandma's Crusties.
No, it's because it's crusty on the top. I caramelized the sugar.
I don't care what you say. Thank you so much for saying that, because now that's what I can put in my head instead of what Andy put in my head.
A hot cross bun with like granulated sugar. Yeah.
I won't even. I mean, my dad made light of sugar. My dad made light of it because he had his own dead. You know, he was paralyzed from the waist down, so he shot himself all the time.
Yeah, side of the road, right?
Side of the road. Hot mustard or whatever, you know. It's like chili, you know, like a chili. It was like a chili grab off, you know.
Grandma's Crusties and Dad's hot mustard.
Because my dad was a victim of my mom's cooking, so you know, a lot of times we were literally grabbing at straws. I mean, not literally straws, but you know, we could have used straws more effectively. Yeah. Anyway, those are good times, you know. It's not all.
It's the memories you hold to your heart, Andy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why, you know, I mean, fortunately, it's not a popular phrase, but if somebody would come up and say,
I'm hot mustard.
No, I'm having a burn.
Crusties?
My dad would say I'm having a burning sensation, and that man pull the car. You know, I mean, there's not really
That's how he notified the family to pull over.
I'm sure there's a song, you know, burning sensation. You know,
that was a band. That was a band.
Yeah,
I guess that's better than just shouting "hot mustard, hot mustard."
Yeah.
It's your hot mustard hit.
Yeah, that's why many years later I was visiting Douglas Stanhope in Hollywood. I think it might even be the apartment Ericsson's in, and Doug put on German porn, and I'd eaten some day-old sushi, and then the combination of the Ralph's sushi and the German porn made me throw up, but it was probably too close to my childhood. The German porn. You know, it's like, what are they even doing there? Oh, burning sensation. She's having a burning sensation.
Burning Sensations was the name of a band in the 80s.
Really?
Yeah, I think Belly of the Whale, I think was their song.
I wonder if they had a paralyzed dad too.
Well, Andy, I don't know if you know, but I actually took care of my dad for like three or so years.
Was he dead-legged?
Wiping your old man's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Or showering really steps up the game of like, all right, well, at least
you guys are grossing me out now.
Well, you got it, Andy. When you say that, I understand. You're forced. You're in a situation where someone has to do something, and you're basically.
Yeah, and if you're the dude, you know, if you're the dude like my dad, he just had a real grim sense of humor. But you know, you can only cover so much with humor when your kid's chucking bags of your shit out at a rest area after he just, you know, had some cocky film. You know, thank God there weren't a lot of cameras there. I'd be a fetish freak, a fucking star.
Wait, there weren't a lot of cameras, or there were any cameras?
There weren't. Well,
That's a big difference.
Did you have a documentary film following you around?
I got molested on camera, and that guy had a big beta on a tripod, you know. Wasn't like people were swinging those around in rest areas. Oh shit. There's a, you know, so you had a few moments of public embarrassment without somebody putting it on the internet back then, you know. A little running start, you know.
I get it though. At one point I had to work I had a job as a like a house manager of a group home, when mostly what I had to do was hire people to just take care of the guys that lived there. But at one point there, we didn't have somebody in a slot yet, so I had to go over there and take care of the guys in the group home. And one of them had Down syndrome and the shits. And
they're not multi-exclusive.
It was a rough fucking day. It was like trying to shower and you have gloves and you're like, fuck. But as soon as you get in that situation, it's more fucked up to think about than it is to be in, because when you're there and you're the only person that can help another person that can't help themselves, it becomes easy. Easier than it is to think about.
It becomes tolerable. It becomes not easy. You realize that you're the only one in the room that's gonna help here.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, when my mom was dying, she was about a week and a half away from actually passing away. And she was having a lot of complications at night. We just lost Andy.
Got too heavy for Andy. He couldn't handle it anymore.
He's gonna
go have a good cry.
Safe for it.
But they called late night for a doctor or an RN to come over and catheterize her. And Tracy and I, my girlfriend, we're in the outer room listening to my mom wail.
Oh my
just
God.
wail as he's trying to catheterize my mom. And it turns out there was no way he was going to be able to do it because there was something in the way of doing that. But at one point he comes out and he goes, "I need some help." And I look at Tracy and I'm like,
"Oh my God."
Well? And I went in there and I had to hold a flashlight.
It's like you're helping your dad. It's like you're helping your dad change a tire on the side.
That was too fucking cliche. Fucking Shaylee holding a. Not like that. Son of a bitch.
Like the whole time, my mom's wailing because as he's doing this, there's no way the catheter is going to work because, physiologically, there was something in the way that the doctor the next day goes, "Oh yeah, you can't catheterize this." I'm like, "Well, yeah, the guy last night was jamming her like he was putting her on a pike out in front of a castle. Jesus Christ, I was holding the fucking light. I was an accessory."
Wow. Yeah, we jumped into the catheterization while I was away.
Things took a heavy turn. While you
jumped out at the right time.
Yeah, I was just thinking of my dad's uncircumcised dick with the wrong amount of glue on it and how I had to redo it all the time.
Why is there any glue on an uncircumcised dick, Andy?
My dad had to wear the catheter, and it was one
external.
We'd glue it,
and
you'd have to pull the dick thing up to get it solid. If you didn't do it right, you'd have to do it again. That was the problem.
You're talking about those the external catheters. It's like a condom that goes over.
Like a condom, and then you would put glue on it. You'd wait.
I think that was just a funny prank.
You put the iodine. You put the cleaner on, and then the glue. And then
you're putting iodine.
Yeah. No, I had the whole procedure. And those were the better times of my childhood.
For him.
You guys walked Ericsson.
Yeah, unfortunately, my dad was paralyzed, so he couldn't enjoy it.
But you could?
No, I definitely. That was how you'd know, who your friend, or, my brothers got savvy to that. It's like when those times came up, they would take off or whatever. And then you'd be like, "Oh, Dad needs a catheter change. Where'd everybody go? Oh, they're out, fucking running out windows and shit." And I'd get literally left holding the bag or, I mean, I didn't hold the bag. I'd hold the dick and then I would do the procedure. But, I haven't been asked to do, it's like I learned a skill back then, and I've never been able to take advantage of it for monetary reasons.
Not yet.
Yeah, right. I can do my own back, And plus, I got the.
Well, if I've learned anything in 23 years of show business, I've learned never to try to follow an old person catheterization story. So I think this is a good spot to fucking call it and get the fuck out of here before we get into areas we all regret.
We're almost from when we started,
it's an hour.
2 hours. 2 hours
right.
When we started. Chad and I started drinking and talking during your tech support.
Also, you can take some of the boring parts out of the middle and put it with some of the funnier boring parts from the early part and make a whole hour. I think
I might have to pay Todd a little more this week to make this one work. But I also in my disgust over the direction of the stories at the end, took my headphones off and my earbuds out. I realized how quiet it is around me in this apartment, and I have the window open and the front door open. And about 15 minutes ago, I yelled, "Hot mustard here!" There's people just walking by on the sidewalk and shit.
Probably a homeless guy going, yeah. How do you know? How do you know I shit myself?
It's like Andy last week when he kept talking about serial killers, and the person upstairs in his Airbnb didn't know Andy was doing a podcast or he was talking to us because all they can hear is him.
Yeah.
Talking about murdering people.
Oh,
Hey, I'm going to do some plugs, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to DougStanhope.com, get on the mailing list. We've got dates coming up. We just added Boise on the 3rd of March, Spokane and Seattle. We got Baltimore, Boston, San Francisco, 3 dates out there at Cobb's, 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then April 10th and 11th in Denver. Get on the mailing list, and then you'll find out where he's going to be because we're going to actually fill in all those dates plus more after that. Plus, he's going to Europe in September. So get on the mailing list, everyone. DougStanhope.com.
Holy cow. That's a lot.
Oh, it's pretty
I'll
good.
be at the Comedy Store in a couple of weeks. Month, 2 months. Sprucing up
Maybe.
Airbnb.
There's so much time for Inman to fuck this up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
This is almost like one of those NBA games where your team's up by 30 points in the first quarter. You're like, this should be such an easy victory. All we got to do is
still going to lose.
And then somehow in the end, you still lose by 15. So there's a lot of game left before March 23rd.
Anti-Mahomes.
Well, if he keeps pushing it back and it gets into April, then I'll be able to go out there. So fingers crossed.
It might happen. Look, there's no need. I'm speaking directly to the people. There's no need to worry about getting tickets yet or about buying plane tickets out here. If you want to come to this thing, let it just sit on it for a couple of weeks till they make sure that everything is finalized. And that doesn't mean the Comedy Store won't move it again. It doesn't. It's just the way it is. So there's, always it's life's more fun with risk. So, and Chad, you'll put a link to your Twitch.
That's my new thing.
That worked out, right?
I think so.
All right, cool. Yeah, so check the comments for a link to Chad's Twitch channel, and you can join those guys for all their Twitch streams. Like and subscribe, and thank you. I'm Brett Ericsson. That's Greg Shaley. That's Chad Shank. That's Andy Andrus. Bye. You don't
we have a Twitter?
No, see, wait.
Do we have an account? Because there's that issues with Andy guy, and then
the issues with Andy guy.
Yeah,
he's out there. He's out there.
But there is a guy named that, right? That has that handle.
That's us.
That's
there is a guy that has the handle. Yeah, and it's a picture of you from Austin.
I know. I discovered that recently, but I thought it was this other guy. He said I had that handle. Was that you saying that?
Why aren't we recording this? This should be.
I'm still recording.
Now.
I never stopped.
No, I'm serious.
No, issues with Andy.
At the beginning,
guy's out there, dude. That guy is out there. So just be aware of that. I want you to be fully aware of that. That guy is out there.
That guy is. All right. But there's a guy. All right.
There is a guy.
He's just gonna go into it again.
Yeah. Oh.